So a feature that's coming upon us near immediately in next year, January, that people don't seem to fully fathom, isn't discussed nearly at all, as near as I can tell, is the bullish feature of congressional redistricting. Once a decade, when we get the census done, we move through a process of having congressional lines redrawn. In some states, they get more members of Congress. Some states get less members of Congress based on what's happened in the decade in between in their populations on a relative basis. The congressional districts, of course, must all be the same size, but the lines get redrawn. And the lines get redrawn in different states differently. In some states, it's by what party has control of the legislature. In some states, it's by formalized commissions that are defined uniquely in each state. Now, I just want to say that it's a complicated process. It varies by state. Not only does it vary by state, it varies by state by time of when it must be completed by. It must be completed in law by the filing deadline of when that state has its first federal election primary in the next federal election, 2022. And of course, states have their primaries spanned throughout the course of 2022. So the final deadline for each state varies all over the board. The point that I'm wanting to make is that if you're a member of Congress currently just reelected or just elected, you know where your district is. But if you're in a potentially more marginal district, you don't know where your district will be exactly come the next election, and you know you've got to run for re-election in 2 years. And this will force you to be more moderate. If you've read me otherwise, heard me otherwise, you know I'm a big fan of congressional gridlock. And this election, as I've been prone to say lately, gave us congressional gridlock 2 years earlier than normal, which is like getting Christmas in the summer. It advances the whole process that makes the stock market benefits of gridlock into the year 2021 and potentially 2022. But this redistricting makes that happen on steroids. It makes that happen on steroids because none of the members of Congress that are in relatively more balanced districts can have any confidence where the district lines are, and therefore who the voters are, that they're going to have to appeal to in 2 years. And therefore, they're not going to want to alienate those who they don't know who they are, who they will need. And it will make them all more moderate. This is a once-in-a-decade thing. It does happen every decade. It doesn't always happen as neatly as it's going to happen this time, because this time we know more or less the way it's going to turn out. California is going to lose 1 congressperson. Texas is going to gain 3 congresspeople. Montana is going to gain a congressperson. Illinois is going to lose a congressperson. New York's going to lose a congressperson. But you know what? Ohio is going to lose a congressperson. Arizona is going to gain a congressperson. We can go through the list. Doesn't really matter. The states all vary. If, let's say, you're a Democratic congressperson in the state of Illinois, where the outcome is going to be, or the state of, let's say, Texas, where the outcome is controlled by the state legislature, which is Republican, you say to yourself, my gosh, they're going to make my district as hard on me as possible. I don't know who my voters are going to be. I better be as moderate as possible so that I don't annoy my future voters that aren't my current voters. This trend will tend to make Congress more gridlocked than normal, not less. And that's a tremendously beneficial feature for stocks in the short term, as I've said in so many other places, so many other times. Subscribe to the Fisher Investment YouTube channel if you like what you've seen. Click the bell to be notified as soon as we publish new videos.